Hi all, and welcome back to the World War II tutorial series with me, Metallic Shard. So, today we have the German bomber, the Heinkel He-111. When development started on this aircraft before World War II, Germany was banned from having an air force, and the Germans were pretty intent on having World War II in a few years' time, although they didn't have the decency to tell the Allies in advance. They were also pretty intent on making this aircraft a German bomber, which is what it became. But obviously they weren't allowed to build bombers, so they disguised this aircraft as a nice peaceful cargo plane. Anyway, World War II broke out, and during the early parts of World War II, this bomber fared quite well, until the Battle of Britain, when it came up against the British, and its flaws, such as its weak armament, slow speed and bad manoeuvrability, were exposed. Although that said, the Heinkel was good at taking damage and staying in the air. Staying in the air as a result of taking the damage, not just staying in the air in general, because it's a plane, it's designed to stay in the air, I think. Anyway, throughout the whole of World War II, the Heinkel served as a torpedo bomber in the Battle of the Atlantic, and a medium bomber / transport aircraft on the western, eastern, Mediterranean fronts, and also in the North African campaign. Now, the reason this aircraft hasn't appeared sooner in my series is because until yesterday I wasn't actually planning on building it, and this is because to build this aircraft to scale, the fuselage needed to be 2 blocks wide. Building it 3 blocks wide just made it look really fat, and it wasn't to scale. But the problem with the fuselage being 2 blocks wide is I couldn't position the tail in the centre unless the tail too was 2 blocks wide. And I was really worried it was going to look fat and stupid, but as it turned out, it only looked partially fat and stupid. And that was enough to get me to build this aircraft and include it in the series. And someone else was asking in the comments for the Heinkel, so here you are, you have your Heinkel. In this tutorial I'll be personally building the grey Heinkel bomber you see here, and I'll also be clearing the weather again. So yeah, I'll be building the grey Heinkel here. If you want to build this North African campaign Heinkel here, or this winter camouflage Heinkel here, simply build quartz or jungle wood versions of the aircraft you're about to see in the tutorial here. And at the end of the tutorial I will go over the finishing touches that you need to add to these aircraft that make it that little bit more different to the aircraft you see here, such as safe heads and various other little things. So anyway, without much further ado, let's build the Heinkel bomber. Okay, begin by placing a 2x6 slab rectangle, and when you're placing your slabs, make sure they're level with the top half of this glass block here. So just make the 2x6 rectangle like that, and then here we're going to place 4 steps like so, and for the front 2 steps here, make sure they're angled like that. And then here we'll place 2 glass for where the lower turret will be made later. But anyway, back at the front here, we're going to place 2 glass at the front, and 2 glass behind these 2 glass, and 2 glass on top, and then 2 more glass here, and then an extra glass here on the right hand side, and also an extra glass here. Then add glass panes here and here on the left hand side, and from this point just build blocks all the way from the back of the cab to where the fuselage currently ends here above the glass. And let me just move that screenshot a second. That's okay. So now extend this block thing 5 blocks out, so just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and build it up. And then over here we're going to go up half a block and place a 2x3 slab rectangle. And this is the very back of the aircraft now, and on these two rear slabs here, place slabs on top, and then here just place 4 blocks. Back to the cab again, on the last 2 glass here, place slabs on top and make this into a 2x3 slab rectangle. Then place 2 glass, leave these 2 slabs unbuilt on, then a 2x4 slab rectangle, and place an extra slab here just above the glass on the left hand side, because we'll be placing the aerial there. And then count 3 blocks along towards the end and place a 2x3 block rectangle like that. On the first 2 blocks here, place steps like this, then behind these steps 2 blocks, and then steps on top of these 2 blocks, and then blocks all the way behind at the back, and finally 2 slabs on top. Guess we'll make the tail wing next. So that's level here, level with the bottom half of these blocks, and ends right at the back of the aircraft, and it's a 3x3 slab square, and then 1 extra slab in the middle at the end. And obviously same for the other side. Okay. So now I guess we'll add the guns and also the aerial, so grab some dark oak fence gates and also a nether brick fence. Now really this should be grey, but there are no grey fences, so it's nether brick. And we'll add the guns. The first one at the front here is on this glass block here. Then the second one is on the left hand side here. The gun on the actual Heinkel would be in the centre, but obviously we can't do that, so I guess you can stick it left or right. And the same here, the gun would have been in the centre, but we can't, so I'm sticking it on the left. Right, is there anything else before we move on to the wings? No, there isn't. Okay, let's build the wing. So see this block here, level with the last glass of the cab here. On the top half of it, place 4 slabs outwards, and behind these slabs here, make a 2x3 block rectangle like that. Then place 2 slabs here, and then a normal block, and then over here place 4 upside down steps like that, and then 1 more slab here. Then we're going to go in 1 block from the front here and place 4 slabs along like that, and then place another 4 slabs, and on this line of slabs here, place slabs on top, and then make this into a 3x4 slab rectangle like that. And then lastly, in the middle here, make a 2x3 slab rectangle like that. The engine is going to be 2 blocks out from the fuselage here, so place 2 blocks like this. Then down here place a slab to connect it to the wing properly. On the top here, count 1 block in and place 2 slabs on top, and then a pressure plate either side of these slabs, just to add a bit more thickness to the engine. And then at the bottom, count 2 blocks in and place 3 slabs underneath. Then the propeller is going to be the standard skeleton skull and glass pane, and also glass. Build the glass round the skull, and then the glass panes at the edges to finish off. And that's pretty much it for the wing. So now you know how to build one wing, you'll know how to build the other. So I'm just going to skip ahead to applying the camouflage when you've built the other wing. Right, so before we do the camouflage, let's do the German Luftwaffe cross markings. I managed to invent these myself last night, and I was pretty pleased. I actually discovered how to do them by accident. So yeah. Right, you're going to need white banners, ink sacks, grey dye, and also bone meal. And once you've got them, just copy out what I'm doing here. It's pretty simple actually. So there, we've made one side of the cross. Now we've got to make its mirrored version, so let's just do that. Why did I just put banners like that? Sorry. Right, there we are. So let's just place them on the aircraft. And the cross is 2 blocks away from the start of the tail, so here and here. Oops. Alright, and now to apply the lighter grey camouflage. Now apply this in whatever way you like, I guess, or copy me, but bear in mind when you're applying it, watch out for steps underneath the wing here and also steps over there as well. So whilst I'm applying it over here, I'm going to try and work round this line of steps there. It's a bit annoying, to be honest, that doesn't look brilliant, but oops. And when you're applying the lighter grey camouflage here, you probably want to leave the stone bricks behind the banners untouched, just so the banners don't stick out so badly because they've got dark grey as opposed to light grey dye. So just try and work around them as well, I guess. And you've also got the steps here. Right, that's the first Heinkel done. Now we're going to go on to the North African campaign camouflage Heinkel and also the winter camouflage Heinkel. So the desert Heinkel is pretty simple to convert. So first of all, you're going to use wither skeleton skulls for the propeller cones. And for the pressure plates, you can use the, well, technically oak wood pressure plates. And these don't look great on the jungle wood, so I guess this is an option, whether you want to add them or not. As is the addition of these trapdoors here, which just add a bit more scale, thickness to the engine. and the nether brick fence post is replaced by a jungle fence post, and lastly this quartz band 1 block away from the start of the tail here. I couldn't add the German Luftwaffe symbol because there are no dyes of no banners which are the same colour as jungle wood. It's either pink or red or something, and it would look ridiculous. So anyway, that's the desert Heinkel done. Let's move on to the winter Heinkel. And again, this is also pretty straightforward to convert. So use iron pressure plates instead of stone pressure plates. You can add iron trapdoors to give the engines a bit more thickness. You'll also need levers to make these retract, of course, which might not look particularly great, so it is an option. And then we have this yellow band here on the last set of blocks before the tail. And lastly we have the German Luftwaffe symbol, which is the white version of the one we just did on the aircraft over there. So let's grab a crafting table and let's make the this thing here. So just copy out what I'm doing here. So we've made one of them. Now we're going to make the mirrored version. And simply just add these 1 block away from the yellow band, so here and here and here and here. And finally the red propeller cones. So to get them you're going to type out this command, use your own username here. This is my username. And yeah, type it out word for word because it's a very sensitive command, and that will give you this safe player head. And there we are, that's the final Heinkel of the trio done, which means that's the tutorial done. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and also share your opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.